Cesar Chavez, the famous labor and civil rights leader for farm workers, that's a pretty big deal here in California, is facing a reckoning. Thanks to a New York Times investigation, there's a lot of things coming to light. 2 women have alleged that they were groomed and raped in 1975 at the ages of 15 and 13 years old. These were girls. Dolores Huerta, the United Farm Workers co-founder, alleged that Cesar Chavez also sexually abused her in the 1960s. And in the 1970s, he also implemented these psychological tactics that he called the game. This is where he would intentionally practice forced verbal abuse and public shaming to break egos and ensure loyalty. Internally, he pushed out Jewish and Anglo supporters and sidelined Filipino workers. Now, as we speak, Cesar Chavez Day events, which is celebrated on March 31st, are being renamed Farm Workers Day, and his name is being removed from buildings and statues all over the place. Okay, the first thing you need to do is go to the Washington Post and read the opinion article by Elizabeth Cobbs on this. It's called Cesar Chavez and the Lies the Left Tells Itself, I Know Them Well. She herself was a victim and talks about how the men of the 1960s and 70s used justice, civil rights, and even feminism to abuse women and girls. And this was kept quiet because there was pressure from these movements to protect the movement, just like with Eldridge Cleaver of the Black Panthers. Now, the first thing I want to talk about with this is our celebration of history itself. We currently have many statues in D.C. of men who enslaved people and regularly raped women. We've got rich people's names on buildings across this country because they gave some money. Many of them happen to be in the Epstein files. Now, I completely understand and support them removing Cesar Chavez statues and his name from buildings. But we should also be consistent and just stop idolizing people. Movements, great, not people. And especially rich people, because they're going to have baggage. You don't get to these places without stepping on a few people. I definitely don't think, for instance, we should have the Jefferson Memorial. And then for the second thing, I want to go back to the lies of the left. And this is obviously not just a problem with the left. We tend to be more forgiving of people, for lack of a better term, when they're in our tribe. It's why feckless Republicans in Congress have led us to this disaster. They didn't want to hurt the MAGA movement. And I also see this with Blue MAGA on the other side. Try saying something negative about Gavin Newsom or John Ossoff or some other Democrat establishment figure, and your comment section will be filled with people telling you to focus on Trump, that you're just helping Trump, and even with worse people like the Clintons. If you thought the answers from Bill Clinton and his Epstein testimony were satisfactory, you're kidding yourself. See, what's helping Trump is this environment. Democrats that refuse to acknowledge the problems with Hillary, Biden, and Kamala, all for the sake of winning. And did it work? See, the currency of the future in this country is going to be trust. You have to earn people's trust, and you're never going to do that if you circle the wagon every time. Republicans have quite literally sold their soul to the devil to circle the wagon. And for what? To hate on immigrants? To bomb brown people in the Middle East? We have to be honest and tell the whole truth, no matter who it is. I'm just sick of so-called political leaders gaslighting us all the time. Just keeps people like Bob Menendez in Congress for way too long. And it's why I'm not a member of a political party. So yeah, get rid of Cesar Chavez. But more importantly, don't make the same mistakes. Hold today's leaders accountable. All of them, yours and theirs.